Hello, my subscribers and my viewers. How are we doing? It's good evening from here, and I say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or good day, wherever you are watching from. This is M Special. M Special is a Biafran agitator for Biafra freedom, talking about Africa in general, hoping that we, the Biafrans, will be freed from Nigeria this year, God's willing. This evening, I come to talk about a topic I came across in the internet during the weekend. You know it has been a while because I have been busy, like I said, till the next 3 to 4 months before I will really come up like I used to do. But this weekend, I took my time, very little tiny time I have. I said, let me go out of my own box, my own subscribers and the people I know, to see what is going on around the world, especially in my Africa and Biafra. I came across this interview by African Tigress. But before I continue, please, if you're new, if it's your first time coming across my channel, or you have been watching without subscribing, please do subscribe, because your subscription is what keeps this channel going. It works, what makes me come up whenever I see something to share with you. Together, we'll make a better place in the world and in Africa, in my Biafra in general also. So do subscribe to my channel. There's forum for like, comments on the video, because it is through your comments that we have the final say. I am only here to deliberate on the topic, but the final say will always come from you, the viewers and the subscribers. So do subscribe, do comment. There is also space for like or dislike. They are all welcome. Please, if you do dislike, do me a favor, let me know why you dislike the video. Do not forget to share, because there is love in sharing. You are welcome, and God will surely bless you as He bless this channel in every good thing that you are doing to add value to humanity. So, as I was saying, I came across an interview actually on African Tigress channel. And this interview was talking about one of us, an African American, was born in California, as she claimed. And this interview was conducted on 12th of June this year. I know many people might have seen that interview because it's a very big channel. It's a Kenyan lady channel. So in that interview, our African American sister was talking about why Kenya back to America after living in Kenya for 3 years. So I want to deliberate the reaction of my fellow African people. You know, we Africans, we are highly religious people. And it baffles me that when it comes for us to use exactly the same word of religion that we use it every day to console or to look into matters, when those words come to reality, we sort of fail. Why do I say this? We always say, the truth shall set you free. Mark that. The truth shall set you free. Okay? We always use that word. Now, we also know that the countries of the world are what they are today, first by their own promotion to themselves. And today, we Africans, we are like being awoken from our slumbers and our sleep to also make our countries in Africa and our continent great, especially the new generation. And I say kudos to the new generation and the new breed of Africans. that are looking forward into the future and refusing to do the mistakes that our forefathers did. So, if you look into France, for example, I have lived in France. The France people talk about everywhere. It is not how it is. I'm not here to condemn any country, because every country is good and every country is also bad. There is something that makes people good, and there are also something that makes people bad. And in everything that God created, there is the good and the bad aspect of it. So that's why we can never claim to be perfect. So that being said, like for example, the Western world, yes, they have advanced greatly in many ways that we cannot deny. But when you are outside hearing about their achievements and how they advance and how heavenly their countries are, and if you come, how heavenly and highly you'll be lifted from poverty, you think it's true. But when you get into it, you will live with the reality. That's what I'm trying to say. I have lived in France. In fact, I worked with French company where I'm coming from, and I lived in France. And the France that people are talking of is not the what it is. I'm not talking about economy now. When you go to France, and when I lived in France, I live in a very expensive area, the tourist zone of France. When you talk about anybody going to France, those are the places they would like to visit. It's in the south France. Many lots of dilapidated building in it, and people are living in them. There was one building where they sent me to go for French course to learn the language when we arrived. And my husband was the one that took me the first day to locate the place. From outside, you will just see the cracked walls. When we got in to the building, the staircase can collapse at any time. Yet, the government is using it. The people are using it. They are using it for immigrants to teach them. And you have to climb. There is no lift. You have to climb this shaking staircase to third level. In fact, when we got in, my husband looked at this house and said, I cannot guarantee you to come here. This is a death trap. And that was the first and the last I went there. My husband has to wrote them that they have to change me from that he will not guarantee me going to take any lesson from there. He is French himself. Okay. I'm saying this to tell you that there is no perfect place. Okay. Now, when we come to Africa, we now have learned that it is only us that can promote our own continent. And we are doing exactly that. But in this interview, it's talking about this, our sister, Preshay Knight, living in Africa, Kenya precisely, for 3 years, and had to go back for certain reasons to complete her PhD, as she said, and other things that made her decide to go back. Now, our African brothers and sisters were on the chat asking her questions, how she saw Africa, what made her go back, the good side and the bad side. And when she started mentioning the bad side, in fact, it didn't go down very well to almost all of us. Even the moderator. Because when she talked about not having water everywhere, the moderator was like, it depends on where you are. And she talked about electricity shortage, blackouts, and power cuts off and on. The moderator also said, depends where you are. And for me, I didn't make any comments. I was just listening. And other of my Africans, those living in the United States and those in Africa, some of them were commenting that also in the United States, there are times you have blackouts. And I was like, what? Not what that United States cannot have blackouts or have blackouts. Even where I am, at times our lights will go off, but it takes seconds. Maybe they are doing something in the street or it will just go off without warning. And at times they know they are going to switch it off for maintenance. They don't tell you, but they will always guess that time that people are not really using lights, like those that are cooking with electricity, and those the times they do that. They will just switch it off for maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it will come back, or 10. Now, why I am really interested to talk about this is this. When that our sister talk about power failures in Kenya and water not running into the houses that they used to buy tanks of water, I now say, this is Kenya that most of us know very well, country in Africa, because a lot of British lives there. And I said, that means all Africans and all African countries are suffering the same thing. Because that shows me that the problem of Africa is everywhere. We always talk about people having steady lights. It depends on where you are. But in Europe, when we talk about steady lights, everybody has steady lights. And in America, when you talk about steady lights, everybody has steady lights. And why I say the truth shall set us free is this. We have had a wonderful account of our own African brothers and sisters from Africa coming back to the motherland, embracing it, liking it, living there, saying wonderful things about their experiences there, which is true. But when we have this, a real life account saying the contrary, we know it is true. We are Africans. We know we have to promote ourselves. But dear brothers and sisters, we can never grow or get to our destination as in the development without welcoming the truth. We must welcome the truth. And the truth is, we need to start building Africa. We need to start voting the Pan-Africans and the nationalists in to grow Africa. We as African citizens have a lot to do for our continent and for our individual countries. We and a lot of us in the developed world can see that government does not give work. The majority of the works that we are doing outside Africa in the developed worlds are owned by private enterprises and companies. And that is what we don't have in Africa. It's not that we cannot, but because the power that be has refused us to reach to that point. And that is where we have to start. And for those that we are voting in, why I said we should start voting in the Pan-Africans and the nationalists is that when these people come with the spirit of Africa in them, they will put the right environments for Africa to grow and to strive high. For I and you to put those our individual enterprises and private enterprises and strive high like it is happening in the developed world. And not those that will be listening to the developed world to bring Africa down for their own individual pockets. With that interview, it is true, and we all know that, for me, I call it that we have no light in Africa. Because if the people in the city And not even all the city areas. Some certain areas can have light 24 hours, while others will support their light with generator, and others have to wait whenever it comes and go to come back, and others does not see it at all. Then something is wrong. That means we have no light, because light is very crucial for life. Light and water. In the zoo called Nigeria, while my Biafran people, we are striving and trying and praying and doing all we could to see that we are out of that zoo country called Nigeria, is because nothing is functioning. Nothing. No security, no light. The light and the water is since 1980s. 1980s, I grew up water running inside the house when I was growing in primary school. Before I finished my secondary school, water has vanished in 90s. In fact, it started before I finished. The water was not running into the houses again. We have to go look for water very distant areas, and later it's boiled down to digging your own individual private wells. As I speak to you, almost every home in Nigeria is having a private well. And when I had that in Kenya, because then, before we get to this point, we were also buying water from the tankers. And it's not only Kenya. This is all Africa. So, I am calling on my African brothers and sisters that when we hear a negative report, especially when it's coming from our own, we have to embrace it. And the question we'll start asking is, what is the way forward than attacking that truth? This is what my leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, always say, that Africans, that the black Africans, it is difficult for us to digest truth. We must wake up from that slumber and that mistake and start digesting the truth, because it is only when we digest the truth that we can make a progress, that we can ask for the way forward, that we can think out the way forward and build on that way forward, so that our tomorrow will be better than our yesterday. In Nigeria, as I always say, is the only country in the world where the yesterday is better than today, and day before yesterday was better than yesterday, and today will be worse than yesterday. It is only in Nigeria since I was born. It does not boil down to this present administration. It is my life experience. The more we grew, the worse it becomes. And that is almost duplicated all across Africa. We know there are powers holding us down, but we must embrace the truth, because it is embracing the truth that will give us the courage to fight ahead and win the fight from those powers. Tell me what you think. Did I deliberate well on this matter? I don't want to go too far because it's already long. I'm waiting for your comments. Do like, share it. Let my brothers and sisters in Africa and outside Africa hear this and know that the only thing and the very first step for us to advance as Africans, whether African countries or Africa as a continent, is to embrace the truth and to hear the bitter side and to embrace our failures. Then we can start thinking about the future and the way forward. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you. Until we see in the next video. Do not forget to bring forth your comments, where the final say of this video will be said. Have a wonderful week.